Hi everyone. In this session, we are going to discuss about sound. So in 7th standard, we studied about sound. So here we are just adding little bit. Okay. So the initial part today we are going to discuss whatever you studied in 7th standard. Okay. Nothing more is there. The exact thing what you studied in 7th standard. Okay. So what is sound? Sound is a form of energy and which gives us the sensation of hearing to our ear. Right? No? Okay. So sound, we studied that sound requires a medium for its travel. Okay. For the transmission, sound requires a medium. So that is the reason when two members are in space, if they talk, they cannot hear each other because there is no air, there is no medium in the space. Okay. So we can easily understand the sound propagation. How sound is produced? The sound is produced due to the vibration of a body. Okay. Sound is produced due to the vibration of a body. So that is the source of the sound. Okay. So take a rubber band, stretch it and pluck it. Okay. So we can see the vibration and at the same time we can hear the sound. Okay. So you can just check it with the rubber band. Stretch a rubber band, take a big rubber band, stretch it so that vibration will be seen very clearly. Okay. So sound requires a material medium for its propagation. Then how the energy change is happening here? Rubber band, when you stretch it, what happens? It is stored elastic potential energy. Right now, in the stretched rubber band, it possesses elastic potential energy. So when it pluck it, what happens? It start vibrating. So potential energy is converting into kinetic energy and that is transmitted through the material medium. Okay. Now we'll see how sound propagate in air. Okay. Just consider this metal strip. I'm going to vibrate this one. Okay. This is the original mean position. Now I'm going to pluck it. So it will start vibrating. Okay. So if you do it upon the desk, you can see the vibrations very clearly. Just consider this is a metal strip, the original position of the metal strip, and here these are the air particles. Okay. So I'm going to make a movement towards the right end. Initially this is the position. I'm going to make a small movement towards the right side. So what happens the next time? The metal strip is, the position of the metal strip is like this way. Now all the molecules, these molecules came together and rest is in the normal way. Or when it comes towards this side, all the air particles of this side made it together. Okay. Now what happens the next time? It is coming back to the original position, mean position. Back to the mean position. It returned back to the mean position. Okay. Now this is transferred to the, this one became more looser and this is transferred to the another set. Okay. So these molecules became very closer and the molecule which is move, this one original position was this one, this came clustered, then it moved back to the original position. So there it created a gap. Okay, there it created a gap and that is transferred to the another set. Okay, again what happens? This will go back to the another side. Okay, so this went to the another side because one complete movement means going to one side, coming back to mean position, then again it went back to the other side, then only it will be back to the original position and be stable. Okay, so when it goes there, automatically here it became more place and hole will be there. Then this time it became far apart and this is transferred to the another layer. Okay, so from one position to another position, then here, here. So when this is, the contraction is going to one position, just before that end, all the molecules will be little bit far apart. Okay, so we used to call this as contraction this is the original position. If this space gap will come in between this one, we used to call it as rarefaction. Okay, because that has to move to other side, then only it will come back to the original position. Okay, so this is the way one by one it will be traveling one side, then that, or else we can tell that the disturbance, we given a disturbance, that disturbance is traveling from one position to another position. Okay, so this combination together we call it as one cycle, okay, or one wave. The combination of rarefaction and contraction together is known as a wave of a sound wave. Okay, the combination of rarefaction and contraction is constitute a single wave of a sound wave. And what we used to call for this wave? Longitudinal wave. When I am talking, what happens to the air particles here? My larynx is vibrating, so that's why sound is coming out, right? No? So that sound is make vibration to the molecules, and the molecules are vibrating in the same direction of the propagation of sound wave. Okay, it's not up and down. If the molecules are vibrating parallel to the propagation of the sound, we used to call it as longitudinal wave. Okay, if the molecules are vibrating parallel to the propagation of the sound wave, we used to call it as longitudinal wave. So actually both longitudinal and transverse wave is possible in sound wave, but this is a wave which we can see in solids, liquids and even in gases. Okay, so in normal condition the sound wave is travels like a longitudinal wave. Longitudinal means the propagation or the movement is parallel to the direction of propagation of the sound wave. Okay, now let's see some factors or terms related with the sound wave. First one, amplitude. Okay, and we used to represent amplitude with the letter A. Okay, so amplitude means, just consider this is the main position of the object. When it got an disturbance, it went to this side, it came back to this side, it went to this side and it came back to original position. There's a to and fro motion. Okay, so to and fro motion, if we consider, just this is the main position. When it got disturbance, now it went to this side and another side this way. Okay, so this is the main position. Consider these are 0. If this is a main position, the disturbance to any side, this will be equal actually. Okay, so disturbance, maximum disturbance to either side, we can consider it as amplitude. This is also amplitude, this is also amplitude. Any one is enough because this disturbance on either side will be always equal. My little difference is there. Okay. Okay, so the maximum displacement from the mean position to the other end is known as displacement or amplitude. Okay, so maximum displacement happen to the while to and fro motion is known as amplitude of the sound wave. Okay, our next factor is time period. What is time period? Time period is represented by the letter T. Okay, so for one complete to and fro motion, what is the time taken? Okay, how long it took to complete the one rotation or one to and fro motion, that is called time period. It is a time taken to complete one vibration towards this side, again normal, then back to here and here. So one complete cycle. The time taken for one complete cycle is known as time period. Okay, now another factor, third one, frequency. What is frequency? In 1 second is represented by the letter F. In 1 second, how many vibration, complete vibration has happened? Okay, so in 1 second, how many vibration has happened? That value will give you the frequency. Time period means we don't know the time, but we know how many vibration. One vibration, time taken for one vibration is known as time period. Frequency, in 1 second, how many vibration has happened, that will give the frequency. Okay, so there's a relationship between this frequency and time period. We can write it as f is equal to 1 by t or t is equal to 1 by f. Okay, so through this way we can connect frequency and time period of a sound wave. Our fourth factor is wavelength. Okay, so wavelength means it is represented by the letter lambda and the unit is SI unit is meter. Okay, simply we can tell that the length of a single wave, that is called wavelength, or wavelength is the distance traveled by a wave in unit time interval. Okay, so in unit time interval, how much distance the wave traveled, that is the value of wavelength. So simply is a length of a wave of a single complete wave, like means one compression and one rarefaction together, how much length will travel, what is the distance, that is equal to the wavelength. Or we can define it as it is a distance traveled by a wave in one time period, represented by the letter lambda. Okay, now we'll see how can we represent the wave in the form, or the sound wave in the form of a graph. Okay, so just consider first one, displacement time graph. Okay, displacement time graph. We have x axis and y axis. X axis represent the time and y axis displacement. Okay, so if this is a wave, this is called a complete wave. Okay, this is a complete wave. So in this way it will represent the time and this is the displacement. So this is the amplitude, this is the mean position. The maximum distance from the mean position is known as amplitude. Okay, so in a displacement time graph we can represent the amplitude, and from this figure we can find out the time period. So time period is a time taken for one complete cycle. If you are taking from here to here, starting from here, ending here, this will represent the time period, or from here also we can start it. Any point we can start it, but make sure that the ending point is also at the same position. So if you are starting from 0, from here to here, this is one up and one complete negative cycle. So this will give you the time period. Okay, so from the displacement time graph we can find out the amplitude of the wave and the time period of the wave. Now a second one is displacement distance graph. Displacement distance graph. Okay, so same way we'll draw the x and y axis. Here always both condition, y axis is displacement. Okay, so keep that in your mind. For both condition we have displacement in the y axis, only x axis is varying. So here it is distance. Okay, so same way we have to draw 2 or 3 cycles. Now in this also this will give the amplitude. From both graph we can find out the amplitude. And the next one is it's related with the wavelength. For the displacement time graph we can find out the amplitude and time. From the displacement distance graph we can find out the amplitude and wavelength. So length of a complete wave. So this is the way how it starts and ends. So this will give the wavelength. Or we can find out from here, starting from here and ending here, this also will give the wavelength. So this is a complete wave, starting from 0, it going to upward direction, same way downward direction, other direction, then it's come back to the mean position. So that is called complete cycle or complete to and fro motion. Okay, so these are the two things we can find out by the representation of graphs. Thank you.